mentioned after the FA Cup final you're probably going to have to change your team for today. So I'm just wondering who you've got available for you if that's tomorrow.
What tomorrow?
Yes.
Well, today you just had a hard day. If you would have played tonight, it would have been a real problem. So yeah. This process, this proper is not finished yet because we only played the 120 minutes 2 days ago, so when the boys arrived today, a lot of decisions. The team, but I can promise definitely, we will line up team from Bournemouth to try to win against Southampton. I think this obviously is the job to do, and we have to see who's able to help. But 30 extra minutes made a big difference. But yeah.
Just in terms of the way that it's going now, and the difference between yourselves and Manchester City, there are certain echoes or parallels maybe of the season where you finished a point apart, which was 99-98 with Manchester City. So I'm just wondering, in terms of your feelings or memories from that season, in terms of you know that final run-in, what your memories were or what your feelings were at that time. I think they won the final 14 matches in a row, and then it came down to that last game of the season. You were on towards and they were Brighton.
I'm sure when they played Brighton, right? And then Brighton won it up. I could hear it in the stadium, didn't know that it was going up, but I thought probably they scored. It was good. I knew in that moment it's too early. So now, if would have heard that sound in the 90th minute, I would have probably celebrated myself. But so it was the response. And then there was the last home game, so we had the walk, and the only thing I felt was quite the boys, incredible season, wow, all this kind of thing. So it was not a massive disappointment because it's not a surprise for me that it happens. The season was more a surprise than a finish of the season. The way the boys performed, the way we learned, with consistency in our performances, that made all the difference. And I knew in that moment we will get another chance. So it seems like it's all about timing. This year already 98 points, so whatever could become champion. That time it was not possible to get them out. It's all fine. I really I'm looking forward to the game tomorrow. It's a chance, it's a big chance, I would say so, because it would mean that City, I don't know when City dropped points the last time, 2 games in a row. Historically. So as Villa has to play in midweek, we are not used to that. So as much as I'm sure they're all professionals and these kind of things, they won't go over City, but City is a pretty good football team. So I don't expect City to drop points there, but that has no influence on our game for tomorrow. So in either world we go in the last match day and are 1 point behind. That would be another good from today's point of view, the perfect situation.
Simon, Melissa from Striker 2, and then the rest of you.
Jürgen, you reflected on that tight title race you had before with Manchester City and what's evolved for Liverpool. You mentioned consistency, game management. How else have you seen your team grow since the last time you guys are in this tense battle?
I enjoy a lot of parts of our football, to be honest, in a lot of moments, but the level we played the first 25 minutes against Chelsea in the final, I have to say it was again against Leon, how good Chelsea defensively, how they close the gaps here there and spaces. And so in 25 minutes we were really outstanding. I was really happy to see that because that was we had to go from here somewhere. And this kind of football against very well organized teams, for sure the best in the world, and being that dominant, I didn't see us doing that too often. better and better in dominating games and controlling games. Rather, that was for me the next step. So that was really cool. It was love to see it for 90 minutes, but probably just too big for that. Then it's absolutely fine.
One of the things that we've seen, and we speak a lot about which players could be missing against Southampton and perhaps for the Champions League final and stuff. But Liverpool relying on squad depth and players stepping up, like Costas with that winning penalty. It's not a big issue for you who you actually line up with because you can trust all of them.
So that we sit here and we want two cup competitions, that's one reason for it, only one. And that we have this group of players like that. That's the reason. That they all stayed on track. That they all stayed in line and were training outstanding. They were involved in the squad and not came on, didn't come on, all these kind of things. The atmosphere as the group created is absolutely exceptional. It was absolutely exceptional. That's why we won these two competitions, because we cannot go for the things we fight for if we go to the final and play always the same 11 players. So that's really not possible. So everybody has his part in there. Not only the discussion about because all of you publicly put there any more medals. You cannot believe that the amount of medals is restricted. Why did you do that? So we realize now we want to give medals to all the players, and man, okay, then the coaches cannot have it. So it's really a bit tough. So dear FA, please send some more medals. It's not a good idea because what's getting bigger, but the numbers stay the same. So do that, and that's really important that the boys did what they did. And yes, now I never felt that comfortable in doing that many changes. No, it's not that we didn't want to do it. No, but I trust the boys, but are the boys ready to trust themselves? That's not a question. The boys looking left and right. I hope they never play together. How will that work? But they play very often together. So because in training and the periods when we have time, we have these moments where they play together. And I told before, the one thing I think the most in a -1 session that we can go with 11-11, or a -2 session that we can go 11-11. Is thank God we don't play these guys tomorrow. Yeah, and that's the way we showed up in the cup competition. Now tomorrow we will see. How I said, the 120 minutes, we just have to make sure that we are not getting nuts with them and trying it again, forcing it again. In the end, it will be a top team, and maybe it will Southampton try to beat us. So that's it. And if they try that, they will try it. They have to try it, and then we will try to beat them as well.
Okay, we go Juliet and then Mike for the big semester.
Going back to the weekend, off the pitch, were you aware of the booing before the match took place for the bye with me and the national anthem by Liverpool good supporters? And I just wondered whether you had any thoughts or reaction to it.
Yeah, of course I have thoughts, but I think in these situations, and it's always the best way out of the question. Why does it happen? So I know our people that well that they wouldn't do it, there's no reason for it. And I'm not here, maybe not long enough to understand the reason for it. That's for sure something historical, and that's not probably a question you can answer much better than I could ever. These are wonderful, our fans, and I know few fans from our clubs either slightly different, but are the majority of our supporters are wonderful people, really smart and all these kind of things, understand, go through lows, go through highs, suffer together, all these kind of things. They wouldn't do it if there would not be a reason. That's what I and maybe we should ask this question. But of course I realized it. It was something I enjoyed or whatever. But that's
One thing you did enjoy when I spoke to you after the match, you were saying that winning the cup will make the next couple of weeks more enjoyable. I know you just spoken about the extra 30 minutes at the final, the penalty shootout, and things this, that, and the other, and player concern obviously with the game tomorrow. I was just wondering, the enjoyment, what else that can bring for these final 2 weeks, that extra push you've got with the squad.
If you play a season like we play and we win the Carabao Cup and fight until the end for the league title, for me is a really good season. But I don't live on my own planet. So we all share this planet, and I know that the public view is slightly different on that. And we know and we feel the responsibility as a team of Liverpool FC that we have to win trophies. So it feels much better that we won already, to be honest. And the FA Cup is obviously a massive a massive competition and winning it, and it makes it it's really felt really big, absolutely big. So it just takes pressure off the whole thing. That's what makes it more enjoyable. So now we just have to go through it. We could have lost the final. We will not be the negative scenario. We will not become champion and have a weak preparation. You all are not shy of reminding me that it all depends on one game, if it's a success or not, and these kind of things. So I don't say it would be massive if we could then obviously in a few weeks time, 2 weeks. About the Champions League, we play against obviously the most experienced Champions League team on this planet. So it's not that we are massive favorites or whatever. So it's an open game, and so then I think every little advantage you can get is good because they won the league already, so they have what they want to win, obviously, and now we have a little bit of that what we want to win, and a chance for the other one to go play. And now we can definitely go there. But between now and then, obviously, 2 massive games tomorrow night.
Mike Hughes and then I think Andy from PA.
Jürgen, nothing succeeds like success, and you'll take it in any way that it comes. But and you've touched on it previously. But how rewarding is it for you and for the individual players and the rest of the squad when people like Kostas Tsimikas and previously in the Carabao Cup final when Praveen Kelleher get their name in lights when they're a big part of the squad, but they don't play every week. Players with fabulous ability. How rewarding is it for all concerned when they play such a big part?
Massively, absolutely. But I think we can take that as an education for the future. Because from next season on, we can change 5 times, so you will have more players who come on and more players who can make the difference from the bench. And we felt this year already in all the cup competition that it was a massive help. And you can bring 5 players. Imagine this final now, FA Cup final, 120 minutes, you can only change 3 times. You cannot even imagine the game with all the intensity, because I said plenty of times, the intensity of the situations in the game increase. We cannot stop that. We cannot tell the boys now, train them to a specific level and tell them use only 80%. So we know more about training, we know more about sport science, we can get these boys in a better shape. So they use it on the pitch, but it's not possible yet that we use that then for 120 minutes and without any threats injury-wise or whatever. So yes, I love it that the boys came on and the boys delivered and the boys contributed, because I know they contribute, but it's nice if they don't get the public reward as well. And we have all to learn, obviously, from now on, for next season on, and that it's obviously as important as to start is to come on and make the difference. So if you see the lineup, the pictures of the team that Chelsea will be made before the game, but after the game, we bring up these sweating guys together and have this nice picture with what's the name of it? The bench or whatever, and they hold it before the game. Liverpool FC, what is it? Pennant. Good luck that earlier, sorry. They do the picture before the game, not after the game, but maybe we should do that as well, because as important who finishes the game as who starts the game. And again, I like it that we have there a new thing to learn, a new thing to adapt to, and that will give not now particularly Kostas or Creed, but all the boys in the squad much more opportunity to show how good they are. To give them the opportunity of scoring the decisive penalty. Now for these 2 boys, it's obviously massive, and the calmness and coolness that they did it, it's absolutely incredible. So I was really happy that I didn't have to shoot, to be honest with you.
For a fabulous game, the last 15 minutes, the second period of extra time looked like an exercise in cruelty. The players were out on their knees. And what can you do between now and Southampton and then the game at the weekend and then the Champions League to try and invigorate the players physically? We know about there being mentality monsters, but there's such a short space of time to get them shipshape.
Yeah, all they are pretty much sleeping on the back, not on the bed, stuff like this. They are constantly otherwise like to make everything happen. If that would have now in first league of the season, it would work differently. This is now game 60, right? So we have to be really careful. That's clear. It's not, we don't finish the season tomorrow, so that's not all asking of the season, but that would again be different. But the thing is, we When Southampton had the last game before we play tomorrow, he was, when I saw that was 10, 12 days. Possible to have that long, really, really long. So it's a completely different. Okay, they might lack a little bit rhythm, but if we make changes, we lose that advantage of having rhythm as well. They're completely fresh. And then we come there and we cannot go there and fall into this game like, oh my God, what's going on here? Southampton is we didn't speak a second about Southampton, but it's not the moment. It's obviously a really well drilled team and full of energy and all those kind of things. It didn't get the results for a while that they wanted. Now that their last home game of the season, what would you do if you have lost 2-3 games too much in the last few weeks? Last home game that would let them crash and leave before you go on summer holiday more or less. That's better. So this is this high energetic, well organized team we face. Defending well, press like crazy, and counter-attacking with all that. Plus, don't make silly fouls because well close kicks shoots the ball from pretty much each corner of the pitch into the goal. And that's the challenge we face. And now imagine go there with 10 players who played, 8 players who played 120 minutes. You know, that makes no sense. So that's why we have to make changes. I don't know how many you will see that. We'll talk to the players obviously. But that's tough. You know, if you come back and then now it's better you moan and argue when you want something and then you lose. That's why I use that opportunity. There are 2 more match days in this week. Obviously, we played Saturday and it was possible that we play 120 minutes. And they thought the best day for us to play the next game was Tuesday. So you could have given us the Wednesday theoretically. I think that's supposed to be your European League. Sorry?
It's the Europa League Super.
UEFA, my friends. So, and then Thursday maybe, or like you may not play on Thursday. Could we? We could have played. So then we would have played on Thursday a 90-minute game, and on Sunday, which is the last match day, which is normal rhythm from European when they play European League, we play Thursday, Sunday. And all of a sudden, nobody thought we could give them a day more rest. So that's now the whole time like this, and you guys have to sit here and say it, and other people say, and well, why does he stop whining, stuff like this? Because nobody else is doing it. You all don't think about it for a second. You just, oh, it's tough, huh? Oh, it would be better to play on Thursday. Yeah, it would have been slightly better. So 120 minutes and then Tuesday. Come on, that's really massive. So we will see. But again, I can't wait to play the game. Now we know where we play. I can't wait to play the game tomorrow. I'm really excited about it. And the boys who will start the game, they will go with all they have to make it happen. We'll see.
Okay, Andy and JP, once one, then one from the other.
Yeah, just ask about Fabinho because he wasn't involved at the weekend. How is he progressing in his?
Very well. But he will not be involved tomorrow.
Okay.
But very good.
Neil, anything or?
Yeah. We spoke to James Miller after the final on Saturday. He said as he's getting late in his career, he's learning to enjoy it more and taking the moment. I think he was saying after the players in the dressing room, I think he was saying never get bored of this. I wonder, you and your staff, are you able to enjoy it, and if so, for how long before you start thinking about the next game?
When the plane landed, until the plane landed, I was in good mood, but then I got tired a little bit. But it's all fine again. Come back to that. Why don't we have to have a cup final as the last game of the season? Is there an explanation for it? It's just for change. No, nobody knows.
No, genuinely not.
Did you ever ask?
It's changed so much.
Yeah, it changed.
Changed
I thought that it's the last game in summer. It's not the last game or what?
It always used to be that.
Sorry?
It always used to be the last game.
I know. Germany the same. So that would obviously help with celebrations as well, because it's obviously completely different when you play a few days later again. But it's all fine. It felt outstanding enough, to be honest. What I really enjoyed was the long party on the pitch with the people, everybody staying in the stadium. That was outstanding, and actually don't need a lot more. That's all about, and then you can go somewhere and have a few beers, and quickly you come to have too many beers, and then you can't remember it anymore. So that makes no real sense. And that was, but I will never forget what the faces I saw and the things I felt in the moment when we stood there in our corner with our people. Everybody was in a pretty good shape. You could see the world to the boys, and being really together. And then the minutes or more hours in the dressing room, when they're really, and everybody starts getting childish again, and it was running around and all this kind of thing. It's really cool. So, celebration-wise, it was fine. And since we landed back in Liverpool, we were first tired and then the Southampton mood. That's strange. 10:30 next day we had Southampton our last meeting. And nobody came late. So that's it.